Welcome, everyone. My name is Peter Segedi. I work for DigiConnect C1, and I'm responsible for the procurement action related to the European Open Science Cloud. So in my presentation, I'm going to give you some background information about the procurement action itself. This is an overall summary slide of the procurement action as it is described in the Horizon Europe Work Program 21-22 for research infrastructures. You can see the pointer at the bottom of the page if you want to read the whole program. The procurement action is described as a public procurement with the total indicative budget of 35 million euros. We're going to launch the procurement in the third quarter of this year, and the indicative contract duration for the economic operators will be 36 months. The scope of the procurement is to build and deploy a fully operational enabling infrastructure for EOSC, providing access to rich portfolio of fair data and professional quality value-added fair services in all relevant domains from data handling, computing, processing, analysis, and storing. The infrastructure itself should be robust, scalable, secure, flexible, and user-centric. It should be constantly improved and upgraded based on the user feedback and also based on the evolution of the state-of-the-art underlying technologies. The economic operator should provide high-quality IT service management compliant with industry standards in order to achieve a superior user experience and functionalities of the platform available 24/7. The platform offers seamless access to data, software, and services to customize user interfaces and also machine-readable APIs that allows the navigation for users across all the resources and service compositions. The architecture itself builds on the concept of federation. So EOSC platform will be a federation of infrastructures based on standards and standard processes of open science and the EOSC interoperability framework that builds on top of the European interoperability framework design. The diagram, the circular diagram on this slide shows the overall concept of EOSC. At the very center of this diagram, you see what we call the EOS core. So the EOS core is a technology platform and coordination functions that enables EOSC and the entire EOSC Federation to operate. Around the EOS core, you see EOSC Exchange. EOSC Exchange is a e-commerce marketplace that allows all the EOSC providers to share their resources, services, data, software, and research outcomes with users and other EOSC providers. Around the EOSC Exchange, or below it, you can see the EOSC Federation. So the EOSC Federation is the collection of all of these research infrastructures, service providers who wish to make their services available via the EOSC Exchange and want to benefit from the services of the EOSC core. The obvious entire EOSC community and the R&E community is underneath this EOSC platform, which will work and gather under the EOSC Association. On the left-hand side of the screen, you see the minimum viable EOSC. So that is basically a slice of this entire architecture concept, which we're going to implement via the procurement action. The amount of money, 35 million euros, is obviously limited. So that's why we focus on all the necessary EOS core functions that needed to operate the federation, plus some subset of the horizontal services that we can onboard to the EOSC Exchange. So obviously will include the hosting infrastructures, all the deployment and configuration services, and software integration work where it's necessary. Getting a little bit one step deeper into the architecture description, you can see a high-level view of the EOSC architecture and is it envisioned by the EOSC Future project. EOSC Future project is the flagship project currently funded by the European Commission to work with the EOSC community and consolidate all the community and thematic clusters under the EOSC umbrella. So at the top of this architecture diagram, you see these clusters. These are community clusters, thematic clusters, regional clusters. They're having their own portal services, their own service providers, their own resources that they share across their user communities. At the bottom of this, you see some of the horizontal services. These are typically research infrastructures funded by the European Commission to provide common services cutting across all the aforementioned community domains. Think about typical compute storage network services that all research disciplines can benefit from. So what EOSC Future project is doing right now is consolidating and coordinating all these research infrastructures, thematic and regional clusters together. It includes a tremendous amount of coordination function and support activities around it, and especially conversation and discussion around standards and interoperability frameworks, which all these clusters need to comply with in order to share and make their resources available. What we need for this EOSC federation to operate is a technology platform. So EOSC Future project is also developing and piloting a technology platform, a core technical platform, and the exchange environment that allows these thematic clusters to join the federation and connect to those services that they wish to use together in compliance with the interoperability requirements and certain standards. In this overall architecture, what we are going to procure by, it's going to be procured by the Commission is this area under this red rectangle, which includes the core platform in its entirety, the core technical platform and the necessary coordination functions to that platform, and some of the horizontal services which we need to onboard to the EOSC exchange right at the very beginning of the operation in order to make the platform usable and useful for the end users. Once the core and the exchange platform and these horizontal services in place, we also expect the economic operator of the platform to start onboarding the regional and thematic cluster services. So the procurement structure follows this architecture concept, which I just explained. As you might read in the preliminary information notice, which we already published in TED, we defined 4 lots, procurement lots for the structure, and those lots follow, as I said, the actual architecture diagram or concept of EOSC. So lot 1 is the major lot, which defines managed services for the development, integration, deployment, and operations of federated EOSC core platform. So the EOSC core platform basically consists of a set of tools and services that allows the EOSC Federation to operate. It includes a core technology platform, which has state-of-the-art functionalities, a front-end, an e-commerce online marketplace front-end supported by a content management system as well as a learning management system. At the middleware section, there is an authentication and authorization infrastructure, federation of AI, persistent identifiers, and a single sign-on system. And the back end of it, there are multiple resource registries, connected all these objects, research objects via knowledge graphs, supported by monitoring solution, accounting solution, and help desk. These are the absolute necessary functions for the core technology platform to operate. Other than these technology functions, we also have non-technical operational and coordination functions attached to them. This should comply with standard IT services management and IT operation, of course, security coordination, policy enforcement, and so on. The contractor will also be responsible for hosting the environment or multiple environments, system integration, service operations, maintenance and support, as well as the necessary handover and takeover roles and responsibilities are all included in a managed service package for this lot. So other than the first lot, we defined 3 other lots, and those are all related to the horizontal services that will be onboarded to the EOSC exchange. So the lot number 2 describes a managed container platform service. Container platforms are broadly described as a software solution that allows users to manage containerized applications. We identified this need from the community, from the scientific community, to easily deploy their containerized application to certain environments, a virtualized compute and storage environment. And that's what we're trying to procure as a platform, as a service, which means that it includes all the hosting and support activities, operations, maintenance, and support activities, and the underlying infrastructure layers of a managed container service. The second category of services, which described in Lot 3, is we call the Managed Collaborative Data Platform Service. This includes, but not limited to, two major types of services. One is a data transfer related service, where we securely and reliably want to move large amount of data from A to B. And another one is a sync and share type of service that allows access and synchronization and access to file-based information without moving the information available at its original location. Again, these services, we procure them as managed services, which includes the underlying operation, maintenance, support, as well as the necessary integration part, which allows these services to be onboarded to the EOSC exchange. And the last category of exchange services is around data analytics and visualization. Obviously, we identify this again as useful for data scientists to use certain platform services which allow to use multiple programming languages, workload management, job management, AI and machine learning frameworks and models in form of digital notebooks. That is an easy, provides an easy to use interface for researchers to conduct their studies and researches. Again, we will be procuring this as a managed service, which means that includes the underlying infrastructure needed to deploy such analytic services. The hosting, the operational support should all be included in the service portfolio. With this, I'd like to summarize the expected outcome of the procurement as it is written in the Horizon Europe work program and as we also discussed in the prior information notice. So what we want to achieve is a fully operational, secure, cloud-based EOSC infrastructure that includes the EOSC core platform and these exchange services that I just explained, offering a high-quality professional services and a super user experience. It should all be production grade and production quality available 24/7, which implies that the economic operator behind these services should use ITSM standard operations and also the environments and where they host these services should be reliable in production, also provide staging and testing and development environments next to it to make sure that they can follow the standard operation procedures. The population of EOSC with a rich set of innovative and modular services is also part of the requirements. So we want the economic operators to work with the community, with the research infrastructures and onboard those services. Obviously, the three horizontal services which we procure in Lot 2, 3, and 4, those will all be onboarded to the EOSC core. But other than that, the European Commission has their own services, such as the European Data Portal or the Open Research Europe Open Access Publishing Portal, that service that we also want to be onboarded to the EOSC core. Other than these, obviously, there's a large number of data providers, service providers, research outcome providers like publications and publication platforms as such that we all want to be onboarded to the EOSC platform. Currently, these are being collected in the EOSC catalog maintained by the EOSC Future project, establishing links with other European data spaces in other industry verticals is also important. So we also want the economic operator to take into account those necessary technology solutions and coordination functions that's needed to connect EOSC and the EOSC data space to other European industry data spaces. On this slide, you can see the indicative timeline of the preparation. As you can see, in the past, we've already done research ourselves to look into what the community wants and how the Commission can step in with the procurement action to facilitate the deployment and development of the EOS platform. And on the 4th of May, we already published the prior information notice. With that, we're stepped into an open market consultation phase. And this is what we are kicking off with these 2 webinars today and on the week after. So with these 2 webinars, we're actually launching a continuous consultation that will last until late July, which we would like to close the open consultation phase. And we obviously have to spend our time to go and define the tender specifications. As I said at the very beginning, the objective is to launch the tender towards the end of September. And with that, we are closing into a silent period, of course, and we have to follow the tender, the usual tender workflow as described in the financial regulations of the European Commission, which means that the actual evaluation and selection process will go into next year, 2023. We have sufficient time until mid-2023 to finalize the procurement and award the contracts. This will still allow us a certain overlap, a certain phase-in period, while the EOSC Future project will officially close and the contracted economic operators will take over the necessary onboarding services from the EOSC Future project and start operating the EOSC core and exchange in production. Finally, on this slide, you will see some of the references that you can read through in addition to the information which I've just provided. We have a landing page at the European Commission DigiConnect C1 site where you can read all the information that we can disclose at the moment. There you can find links to the fact sheet, which was the first slide of my presentation, the market consultation event, so these 2 events that we are talking now, and some of the policy backgrounds on the DigiRTD page. Here you will also find the prior information notice, the link in TED, which we published earlier in May. And if you have any questions during the procurement process, we also operate and look after a functional mailbox that you can see at the bottom, which provides you a single point of contact in case of any questions or input that you wish to give us during these presentations. Thank you very much.